Blog Talk Radio.
Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement, and this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement, and it gives no choice between peace and war. Only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? When Nikita Khrushchev has told his people, he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better rev than death, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools, and our honored dead who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not advance. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals. And he said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Gibson. This is Blog Talk Radio. We are live, 100% live. Obviously, we experienced that last night, didn't we? And last night, a lot of people emailed me, what happened? What happened? The show got cut off. Well, of course, me, I'm very paranoid. I automatically assume the government shut me down. A couple people even said that themselves. They said, maybe the government shut you down because you were talking about guns. You know, and it's quite possible. But I did receive an email today from the Andy Toe, and I received it right before I started broadcasting tonight, and it says, I want to apologize directly to you for the service failures that have occurred this week. Last night, we experienced a large-scale failure of the Hi-Fi platform, which necessitated us taking it offline and temporarily pausing the beta so our engineers can investigate the cause of the problems. I wanted to write to each of you so you can understand what led up to this point. Prior to this event, our Hi-Fi system had 96% reliability, thanks in part of the thousands of hosts who ran hundreds of thousands of shows during the beta over the last 9 months. We were in the final phase of our product rollout, hunting down rare leprechaun issues so we could get to 99.99% reliability. We didn't want to stop at 96%. It appears that we might have rolled out some changes that introduced errors and destabilized our core over the last 3 weeks. Our first goal is to stabilize your experience. That's why we've paused our beta and moved you back to the SD system. Now that we've paused the beta, our engineers are investigating and restoring our system. Then we'll resume hunting the leprechauns in preparation for the full-scale rollout. Our engineers are also working to put the guest invitation feature in our standard definition SD studio so that you and your guests can connect with Direct Connect. This provides a higher quality of sound than the phone or Skype in our SD studio. We'll alert you when this optimization is available, and then blah, 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 blah. It goes on for 2 more paragraphs apologizing for what had happened last night. So, folks, it was not no error on my part. There was an error on the part of Blog Talk Radio or the Internet system, the beta system, as he stated in the beginning. So I apologize on behalf of my supporters, and hopefully this does not happen again. But like I said, I run on a network here. This is Blog Talk Radio, and, hey, they want to pull the plug. There's nothing I can do. You know, if I was to hook up a transmitter and start broadcasting on my own, I'd get a bunch of white vans in front of my house, and they'd tell me shut up real fast, otherwise I'd be going to jail. So, you know, I have to do what they want. And they're the ones that put me on here originally anyway. They're the ones that sent me the email because they liked what I had to say on the Enterprise Media Network when I was guest hosting over there. And a lot of you supporters did listen to those shows, and I thank you for coming over here and listening to me on my show. And, you know, and no hard feelings towards Peter. He's been a guest on this show, so obviously there's no hard feelings. And there's no hard feelings towards Nathan, who was the producer, and he was in charge of that show out of South Carolina. We still talk, and he listens to this show from time to time, and he supports this show. So there's no hard feelings, and I've actually called in as a guest a couple times since I've started my own show on Enterprise Media to help them out and keep things going also. However, I tried to give my advice to tell them what people want to hear, but, you know, people are hard-headed. They want to do what they want to do, so that's fine. As long as they're happy doing what they want to do, that's okay. But they're not going to get the support that I get or that I want because they're not talking about the issues that we face day to day as Americans, as human beings living in America today, okay, or around the world for that matter. I'd love to get an international call, but I know for an international caller to call this radio station, I don't have a 1-800 number yet. I would like to get a 1-800 number, and we would get international callers, probably more international callers than we would American callers. For an international caller to call the phone number I have right now, it would cost them probably $20 to $50 at least right off the top, okay? And then they would charge them by the minute, probably, $2.50 a minute, and that's only if they get through. So no one's going to call from England or Africa. You know, it's just not going to happen. But they do email me. I did receive an email from Ghana. Ghana is a country or a town. I don't know what the heck in Ghana in Africa. I received an email from someone in Ghana about 3 weeks ago, actually. I forgot to mention that. And they said they heard my show and they supported it. But, you know, so, hey, so people are listening around the world, folks. You know, I'll post that up on the bulletin board if no one believes me, but I really did receive an email from Ghana. I thought it was a scam, someone trying to, you know, try to extort money from me or scam money from me, but no. They just said, hey, I heard your show and I support you. So, you know, hey, that's pretty damn good. But that's what happened last night for those of you who were listening in and you're like, what the heck happened? You're not on the air anymore. Well, now we know. So it was just a problem with their system, and they shut me down. They shut everybody down across the network. It wasn't just me. But anyway, last night we were talking about the Second Amendment, and we were talking about this horrific shooting that happened to these 2 reporters. Now, I kind of made comments this morning when I saw the news, you know, now the journalists are heroes. Now they've got a brotherhood. The journalists are dedicating their lives. They're putting their lives on the line now. Everything's dangerous nowadays, you know. We know America is dangerous. I could walk out my front door and get in my car, pull out of my driveway, and get struck by a tractor-trailer. We know America is the land of sudden death. We know that, okay? It's just not a group of people who especially that put their lives on the line because they go to a certain job. I don't want to hear that nonsense. We all could be whacked out in any second. I could be pulling up to a gas station, get out of my car, walk into the gas station, and walk into the middle of a robbery and get shot in the head. You know, I could be sitting in a restaurant like I told you last night. Some wackos want to rob the place or just come in and whack everybody. What are you going to do? It's a gun-free zone. Everything's a gun-free zone nowadays. I'm not allowed to carry a firearm, right? It's against the law. You know, so, you know, at any time, any place, anywhere, you could, you know, something could happen. And that's the end. That's it. Game over. But I'm going to go ahead and read this quick article here because we've covered this issue, actually, and you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. Excuse me. We all know that this guy who pulled off this shooting, he was homosexual. He had a gay flag, a rainbow flag. They found a rainbow flag in his house. Now you know what I'm getting to, right? All right, here's this article here I picked up from the Associated Press. Confederate flag leftists aren't calling for a ban of the gay flag, linked to WDBJ shooter, Vester Lee Flanagan. Okay? Police reportedly confiscated a gay pride flag from Flanagan's apartment on Wednesday. But in an example of hypocrisy, this isn't sparked outrage from liberals who wanted to ban the Confederate flag due to its association with Charleston, South Carolina church shooter Dylan Roof. Now, if you all remember correctly, the Charleston, South Carolina shooting that happened, he took a picture maybe a couple years ago posing with the Confederate flag. And that, the Confederate flag is what caused him to go into that church and kill everybody, right? That's what they said. So we had to ban the Confederate flag. As a matter of fact, the Dukes of Hazzard, that comedy TV show that I watched growing up, no longer allowed to be shown on TV. Banned. That's it. No more General Lee. That's it. No more Duke and Bo, because they had a Confederate flag on the top of their car. And we know the Confederate flag kills people, right? It's racist, right? I mean, that's why we're banning it, and that's why nobody's, you know, really challenging the issue. I mean, we spoke up a little bit, but, you know, they knocked it down from the South Carolina monument building there, and it's no longer allowed to be displayed. We know Walmart won't sell Confederate flags. I called Walmart. We did that live on the air. Nope. You want a cake with a Confederate flag on it? No. We're not doing that, sir. Sorry. Couldn't give me an answer. It's just we're not doing it. No more Confederate flags. But anyway, liberals got the Confederate flag taken down in South Carolina. Blogger Dave Blunt pointed out they have imposed a de facto ban throughout the country, throughout their control of major retailers like Walmart, Amazon, eBay, and Sears, etc. The show, The Dukes of Hazzard, has been taken off the air because it features a flag on the roof of a car. The fact that this hasn't happened to the rainbow flag, even though Flanagan also wanted a race war, just like Roof was the shooter in Charleston, folks, reveals that the Confederate flag wasn't banned because it's racist, but because there's an agenda to purge anything that's not politically correct. But more importantly, the Confederate flag doesn't fit into what the establishment is pushing, such as cultural Marxism and the destruction of the nuclear family model to encourage individuals to be more supportive and dependent on the government. And the political elite also hate the flag for what it stands for, resistance and central authority. He who becomes master of a city, accustomed to freedom, and does not destroy it, may expect to be destroyed by it. For in rebellion, it has always the watchword of liberty, and its ancient privileges as a rallying point, which neither time nor benefits will ever cause it to forget, noted 16th century historian Niccolo Machiavelli wrote as a warning to the elite. That's the end of that article. We'll throw that in the trash. But there you go. That's, you know, here we go. What's going on here? Obviously, our points that we brought up about the Confederate flag were true, because this gentleman had a rainbow flag homosexual flag that he posted on his Facebook page before he committed these horrendous crimes, killing 2 innocent people who were just doing their job and living their day-to-day lives. If any of you watched, I posted a live video of the shooting on my Facebook page. They haven't taken it down yet or banned it, but the alternative media was able to download that video and exploit it over the internet before the government, shut it up and no one was able to see it. However, I watched it, and if any of you logged onto my Facebook page and watched it, which there were several comments under my video, I know some of you did, and those of you who are listening tonight, I know you did, because you posted comments underneath that video. However, we saw what this sick individual did. He walked up, shot this woman point-blank range many times. She tried to run away and was murdered. And then the cameraman was shot on point-blank range and murdered. All on video for all to see. And everyone is blaming the gun. The gun did it. No, the gun did not do it. It is the person behind or holding the gun. Okay? A gun never jumped off a kitchen table, landed on the floor, walked into a living room, and shot a family. A gun never jumped out of someone's holster, ran out into a car, drove away, and robbed a bank and shot the teller. Okay? Guns don't kill people. People kill people. And if people don't have guns to kill people, they'll find another weapon to kill someone. If they are so bent out of shape or hell-bent on killing someone, they will find another way. Look at me, for example. Those of you who know my history know where I was. The Connecticut Correctional Institution. The correctional facilities of Connecticut. We didn't have guns. People got killed in there. Because when a man wants to kill another man, he will find another way to kill that man. Some people filed down a toothbrush, stabbed the guy in the neck, filed down a spoon, stabbed him in the heart. They had a factory in there. Okay? Ice picks, anything someone can get their hands on. What did I just tell you? Toothbrush. A toothbrush. You can make a toothbrush into a weapon that would kill someone. All you have to do is take it, file it down on a hard surface into a sharp point, and you can actually stab somebody with a toothbrush in the neck or throat or what have you and kill them. It's been done. So the gun is not the problem. The gun is not the problem. What we have today is a society that is not able to be accountable for their individual actions. What do we teach our children? Come on. Oh, if you didn't succeed, try again. Okay? Everybody's a winner. You know? If you stumbled on something, hey, turn around and dust yourself off and keep going. If you stumbled on a rock, you know what I say? No, you turn around, you pick that rock up, and you move it out of the way so no one else stumbles on it. Everybody's a winner today. We don't want to offend anybody. That person that weighs 450 pounds you see in the grocery store, be kind to them. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You know? You don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Be kind, because everybody's a winner. Everybody is equal. We're all one person. We're all equal. We all deserve the same thing, don't we? You own a house? Well, why can't I own a house? I have a right to own a house, too. It's not fair. You have a brand new sports car? Hey, that's not fair. You got health care? Hey, that's not fair. I should have health care, too. Why do you have some things that I don't? We all are one, I thought, right? That's what we're taught to believe now. That's what the schools are teaching our children. Pretty damn good. Go to any college campus. Walk around in your inner cities. Go to New Haven, Connecticut. Go down to Yale. All the yuppies down there, the Ivy Leaguers, they're all right. Oh, those are big-time liberals down there. Go down there. Say the word queer and see how fast you get strung up and dragged the hell out of there. Let me tell you. So we're all equal. We're all one, right? So now what do we get? We have people going crazy because there's no accountability anymore. We can hurt each other. Why not? There's more to this shooting other than just that, but card also plays into here. This was a black queer. Oh, I shouldn't say that. He was an African homosexual. That's the political way. No, he was a black queer faggot, okay, who was sick in the head, who didn't have a proper upbringing, all right, and shot two innocent people who did nothing to him at all, who were out doing the right thing. And this sick individual, if he didn't kill himself, should have been arrested, tried, convicted, because he documented it all, but he still gets his due process, convicted right away, and then hung from the highest tree for everyone to see, not sent into a prison cell to live for the next 60 years, courtesy of everyone else. No appeal, no nothing. You were found guilty. Bingo, done. Bam, bye, gone. This is obviously a common sense case. Just like I said, I think in a previous show, if I'm driving down the highway at 130 miles an hour and I smash into a family and kill the whole entire family, okay, because I've had 20 beers that night and I'm drunk, let's see. Why should I have a 2-year court hearing, go back to court 18 to 30 times, and then get probation for 5 years? While I pay my lawyer $10,000 to represent me, the bondsman, he makes some money because I had to bond out of jail, okay? And then I go back to court 20 times so the docket's filled in the courthouse, all right? Okay, I got to pay to park when I go to the courthouse, so they're making that money too, all right? And then you got all this, and of course, court's an all-day process, so you got to go eat sometime when you're at the courthouse, and then, you got the restaurants running. It's a big freaking racket, guys. It's a big damn racket. Just look around. And this is what you pay for every day. You want to know why gas is $3 a gallon? What did I just talk about? You want to know why milk is $5 a gallon? What did I just talk about? You want to know why your internet provider is ripping you off? What did I just talk about? You want to know why your electric bill is so high? What did I just talk about? When you wake up out there, then we can fix things. And it's not going to be just with the electric bill and the internet bill and all the court going to court and crimes and that. It's a big picture. We got to start at the top. You got to go to the top. You don't have a constitution anymore. You got to start with history. You got to learn your lesson from yesterday to understand what is happening today. And then when you understand what is happening today, you can plan for the future tomorrow. And not until. I got somebody with a question, so I'm going to go ahead and put them on. Hello, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, you're on. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. This is Bridget from Reedsville, North Carolina. And
all right, Bridget,
I was just going to make a comment about what you were saying about the article, and, they were saying that they're not trying to ban the gay pride flag. Well, it's pretty easy to figure that one out. They don't want to ban the gay pride flag because they want to break up the traditional nuclear family, and they want to push all these alternative lifestyles on everybody. Because the thing is, you're not supposed to disagree with them, because then you're a bigot. If you actually state your opinion about how you feel about marriage and traditional families, then you have hate in your heart, and you're a bigot. You're not allowed to have a different opinion. You're supposed to tolerate them, but they don't have to tolerate you. So they're not going to ban the flag because they don't want the normal, natural family to exist. They want all these alternative lifestyles, 2 dads, 2 moms, polygamy, multiple wives, all sorts of stuff. They want all that to exist.
Well,
so that's the reason behind that.
Yeah, and we know all that, and everyone knows that that's listening tonight. We all know what the hell the problems are, and me talking about it probably infuriates people. But, again, I only lay out the platform not for everyone to agree with me, but to say, what can we do to correct the problem that is happening? No, we're not going to fix the problem tonight. We're not going to fix the problem tomorrow, and not one of us is going to fix anything in this world. But all of us together we stand, divided we fall. What can you do as an individual, or what advice do you have as an individual to go forward and say, hey, maybe we should try doing this. Maybe we should start doing that, to correct the problem. Or do you just not care? Some people take that stance. Hey, you know what? I don't care. I'll be dead in 5 years. Hey, you know what? I got a good job. What the hell? Whatever happens to my neighbor, I don't care. But that maybe you don't feel that way, but there are people that feel that way because I've run into them. So what do you think, in your opinion, you can do as an individual in America today to correct these problems?
I think basically, don't let yourself get distracted. I don't let myself get distracted with what they want you to be distracted with. And I can see, what they're doing and the certain stories that they pick to sensationalize. They always have a reason behind it. And the main thing is, you've got to stick together, because if they can get us all hating each other and, at war with each other, then, they can win because, they can overcome. And that's not what we want.
What did I just say? I just said together we stand, divided we fall. And so I understand what you're saying. But what can you do? I mean, for instance, you are a stay-at-home mother, but can't you contact your local even though they won't listen, but can't you send out a letter this week? Can't you send out an email with your talking about your distaste for what is happening around you? Can't you speak your mind when you walk in, confront or walk into individuals? When you walk into a store, you're standing in line, you can strike up a conversation with someone. When you're checking out at the grocery store, you could talk to people, the cashier, even though a lot of them aren't going to listen, but you could plant a seed in their head. You understand what I'm saying? There's many different ways people can become involved, but they don't do it. So what do you recommend? Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you have another alternative? What should people do to correct these particular problems so we don't have another whack job go shoot 2 innocent people because he has a personal agenda?
I agree with you. You don't. I mean, as an individual, I don't want to be the one cowering in the corner, afraid to speak my mind. I want to always speak. I think it's important to speak your mind, even when people attack you for it. Because Jesus was persecuted for everything. Most of what he said, because the Pharisees, they wanted to persecute him and and put him down for what he believed in. And you got to, I want to stand up and, state my opinion and not be scared because it might upset somebody. And as far as calling, your governor or whatever, that's something I would do, even though, like you said, they probably won't listen. But it doesn't mean just because you think somebody's not going to listen, you can't always plant the seed. And you can support groups that are trying to change things. That's another thing you could do. I like to do that as an individual. I like to support groups that want to change things to the way they should be.
Well, we have the tools today in social media to spread our word throughout everywhere and anywhere. You have Twitter, you have Facebook. I think people, instead of posting selfies of each other and talking about, hey, look at me, look at me, folks. Oh, I'm so sad tonight. I need a boyfriend. Oh, I need a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. social media, okay, that's what it's for. You're talking about, that's why they call it Facebook, to look at your face, I guess. But you know what? People should be using it in a constructive manner. They should be spreading the truth and informative ideas and solutions out there. Not, hey, look at me, and posting pictures. Now, we know there is a generation out there that is lost, and they probably will never come back. They've been chemically dumbed down. Either they're on drugs or they've been vaccinated. They're eating poisonous foods. They're watching poisonous programming on television. They're listening to poisonous music on the radio or through their headphones or whatever the heck they're doing. I mean, today I'm at a stoplight and a major intersection, and I look to my left, and there's somebody staring at their cell phone, pointing it up in the air, taking a picture of themselves. All right? Then I look to my right, and someone's looking down at their lap. Obviously, they're sending a text message. And then I look straight ahead, and I'm saying, what the hell? What the hell is around me here? Everyone is a zombie. They're all into themselves. You walk into Dunkin' Donuts, or and everyone's sitting there at the table text messaging. You have two people out for dinner at a restaurant, a woman and a guy going out to dinner on a dinner date, and instead of talking to each other, they're talking to their cell phone. So, what the hell is going on? Come on, people. But I got another caller with a question, so we'll go ahead and put him on. So go ahead. You're going to be connected live, 203-684. Go ahead. You're on.
Hi there. This is Joe from Meriden. How are you this evening?
All right. Did you like my introduction, Joe?
Yeah, I did, and you sound a lot better, too. It's a little overmodulated, but at least it's not breaking up. What are you talking on tonight?
It's a secret. I'll email you. How's that?
Okay. Yeah, Bridget's got good ideas, too. But last night, I got cut off as I was talking, but your link would not play on Facebook. It said it was taken down last night, but it plays tonight. Now, I got a couple comments about this video. I got a couple comments about the whole story. Listen, I don't pay attention too much to this stuff because I just don't. I got other things to contend with in my life instead of worrying about this nonsense stuff. And you'll see why I say it's nonsense when I'm done talking. Supposedly this guy bought this 9mm pistol months ago because he had this planned out. Now, I've shot in many 9mm in my life. I've never shot anybody with a 9mm. But this girl here in the picture who's the reporter, she looks to be like 110 pounds soaking wet. Now, prior to her getting shot, she's interviewing this other woman. But the photographer with the camera, he's not even pointing the camera at them. He's looking off the railing somewhere. Because what I just did is I just downloaded this video, and I watched it frame by frame, and I saved it frame by frame. And after he took the first shot and hit her, she turns towards him. I would think a 9mm would have knocked her on her ass. And you know what? I didn't see any blood. I don't see any ripped clothing. And then he took the second shot. And I still don't see any blood. And that's when she ran. So I think, I'm not saying this didn't happen. What I'm saying is there's something wrong with this video because it just don't look right.
You know what? I thought about the same thing when I downloaded the video on Facebook. This guy, he busts off all these shots at this woman at point-blank range. And you're right. You don't see her, when someone gets shot, you're going to see, I can understand if she got hit, and it's like, ow, 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 and she gets up and starts running. But it's like, it doesn't even look like she's hit at all, and you're right. She looks like she weighs about 125 pounds. And I have experience with firearms, and I've shot a 9mm before. And let me tell you something. You're going to shoot a 9mm, hit somebody 3-4 times point-blank range. A 125-pound woman, I would imagine it would knock her down somehow, some way. But she turns around and runs full speed, screaming for help. So you're right. It does seem fishy.
Right, and after the first shot, she didn't get pushed away from the shooter. She actually moved towards him. And if you notice something else, He's planned this for 3 months. Supposedly he buys this 9mm, something that's going to do damage, and I'm going to film it myself. So I'm going to make sure I get the shittiest camera I can to film it so that people really can't see what I'm doing. I think he'd be filming it in HD and everything else. So there's something wrong with this video.
Yeah, the quality of the video is very, very poor. You're absolutely correct. It's very shady.
Just like Michael Lanza, the pictures you got, you know what? You could take a better picture with a piece of charcoal and a piece of paper.
Well, who's Michael Lanza? That's the Newtown shooter, correct?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, a lot of people don't know what you're talking about, Michael Lanza, because they forget, you're informed and you know what's going on, but there's other people out there, who's Michael Lanza, they don't know.
Yeah,
they forget after one day.
Well, as long as we're talking about Newtown, because that's what I started off last night, I've got a lot of those images from Newtown, and every image you see, well, I can't say every image, but just about every image I've seen has been photoshopped, and they're not the real images, because when you take a picture with your digital camera, or you take a picture at all, there's data that's contained in that picture. It could contain your exact location on the planet Earth, where it was taken, the date, the time, the focal length, the camera. All kinds of information is embedded in that JPEG that you're downloading from the web and using for your own use. Well, that's why people can find out that you stole it, because that information is in there. But you can take that information out. And lots of the images that I received from Newtown had the wrong, it's called XIF information, XIF, I believe, and had the wrong information in it. And then later on, all that information was removed. And if you analyze the photos, you can see that there was, if I recall correctly, that one girl was sitting in the mother or father's lap. Her arm was missing, or her leg was missing, or something. It just doesn't make sense.
No, you're right. But let me ask you a question. Speaking of images and computers, let's talk about Hillary Clinton. Could she delete all those emails so that nobody could ever find them? Isn't whatever's on your computer there forever?
Hillary Clinton. Oh boy, that's the way to go. Hillary Clinton. Listen, yes. Well, when you do it the proper way, now I can only comment and speculate here. If you were to do it yourself at home, you probably couldn't erase it without someone being able to get it back. Did Hillary do anything? I don't think she even touched a server. Now, if she had an email server, as far as I know, and it was even now she's supposedly done this without anybody knowing, but as far as a server of that class to receive those sort of emails, it should be inside of a Faraday cage. It should be protected with a secure connection. It shouldn't be on a farm in a closet somewhere in the middle of Idaho, hooked up to Cox cable. Now, is it possible that she's done that? Yeah, but it has to be going back through an ISP somewhere. They have to have data records. By law, they have to have data records of everything that's not the actual emails that were sent, but IP addresses and everything that transverse the network. But to erase the drive properly, when I used to work at Yale and everything, and I used to take care of the professors' computers, what I used to do to erase their hard drives is I'd take a screwdriver and I'd drive it through the drive and break it open. I'd take the platters out and cut them up with scissors, and I'd throw them away. That was after I erased them with a magnet. I'd throw them away.
Okay.
But to thoroughly erase a hard drive and to have the hard drive still working properly, I guess you would magnetize the disk from the outside and make it so that everything is just magnetized, so that all the iron particles are lined up in one direction, so actually it doesn't contain any data anymore.
All right. Well, see, I don't know this, and that's why I was just asking, what your opinion was. So I know you worked at Yale as what were you into networking, correct? Networking.
Yeah, but there's another problem with Hillary's statements. I said it before, I'll say it again. There's a little bit of truth in every lie. And just like this video here that I see that there's something wrong with, there's something wrong with her statements. She said, I never received any classified information or sent any classified information, and I gave them all the emails that I was requested, but they didn't get my personal emails. Well, you know what? That's probably where the information is that we need, in her personal emails.
True. Possible. It's possible. You're right.
Yeah. She's going to be our next president.
No, I don't believe it. You believe that in your opinion, that she's going to be the next president of the United States?
Did I believe it a month ago? No. Do I believe it now? Yes. Because if I did what she did, or you did what she did, we'd be in handcuffs in federal prison by now. They're leaving this alone. Stay away from it. Don't go near it. Leave her alone. Why? There's a reason why. I don't know what the reason why is. The only reason I could say why is because she's going to be the next president. But I don't know that. That's just a guess on my part.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, my name is Joseph Gibson, and we're on Blog Talk Radio. Anyone else who wants to contribute, the phone number is 657-383-0616. Press 1, and I'll connect you live. If you have anything on your mind whatsoever that you want to talk about, or you have something to say, you're more than happy to participate live on the air. Joe, I don't have any other people calling. I wish a couple other people would contribute tonight or have something. I know a couple can't because they're at work, and I see them on the line. But if there's someone else who wants to get in here and talk about what we've been talking about, especially the Second Amendment, this is a very heated topic, the Second Amendment. This concerns a lot of people. I wish you'd press 1 and sound off about it. But, Joe, if you got something else you want to contribute tonight about my introduction, go ahead. Otherwise, I got something else planned.
All right, I'll let you do your something else planned. I just want to make a comment about everything that's going on and these videos. And, I mentioned before, all the people who were involved with Kennedy going through Dallas, they're all dead now. The people involved in Benghazi, they're dead now, too. These videos that are coming out, that there's just not something right with them. Not that this didn't happen, but you know what? Just like Newtown, just like this incident, just like Kennedy, just like Benghazi. It happened. It probably did happen, but it didn't happen the way we're being told. And why are we being lied to, and why is this information being manipulated? And it's being manipulated for a reason. Is it the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the 14th Amendment, or is it all of them that they want to get rid of? But there's something wrong with the entire picture from the word go, and I said it before, if you turn your TV off and you don't listen to these people and you just go on with your life, it'll be a better life. But I understand that some people need to correct these issues because they have a life, unlike other people like me who don't have a life. So I understand why you're asking people to do something and why I'm sitting back and sort of letting life pass me by. But at least I look at these pictures and I do my own little forensic investigations on them and everything. And that's another matter too. We could actually take these pictures and we could actually go down to the pixel level, and we could spend days on 2 or 3 images just analyzing them and find out the real truth. But you know what? I don't have 3 days of my time to waste on this nonsense.
No, I understand, but you see, because you're older, you're in your, how old are you now? 61, 60?
I'm 39 again.
Yeah, well, come on. All right, well, if you don't want to give your age, I understand. But you're in your retirement stages of your life, and you don't want to deal with the problems today. But you know what? Some of us are younger, and we have children, and we're worried about the our future and what's going to happen, because I want to see my children grow up and don't live and go through the nonsense that we are facing today. I don't want to see these things that are happening unfold and get worse. I understand that you who are out there who are 75 years old, 80 years old, you don't want to hear about this type of stuff, even those of you in your 50s and 60s. But you know what? What about us in our 30s and 40s or 20s, or those of us who are 15, 16, 17, 18? We got a whole life ahead of us still, and we don't want you to leave that type of world to us. Like Thomas Jefferson said, every generation must have a revolution. But still, I don't want to kill my brothers and sisters. I don't want to get out there with a gun and shoot anybody. You know, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see another civil war happen in America again. That's why I'm trying to make some sort of awakening happen. And if those of you out there don't think an awakening can happen, then really, if you're going to be that negative, I don't know what to say to you other than just keep listening and maybe you'll wake up. But, Joe, I mean, you listen to the show. You're a supporter of the show. I wish a couple other supporters, or I know there's a lot of other people on the line, especially a couple people that I really wish would call in and give their, you know, their experience to what I'm talking about tonight. But what do you think of what I just said right there in that statement?
Well, I think ever since the beginning of time, man has learned, especially the politicians, we're going to baffle them with BS. That's what we're going to do. We're going to pull the magician tricks on them. We're going to have them looking over here when we're doing this over there. And everything that's happening, it's probably been this way since the beginning of time. Not since the beginning of time, but you know, since the beginning of government, so they could get their own way. It just changes with time. You know, I'm you know, but in the West, I'm sure people rode into town, pulled out their 30-30, and just blew people away right in the street because they didn't like him because 3 years ago, you know, he hit them with a slingshot or something. But you know, nobody made a big deal out of it because that's the way life was, and life changes. You know, back in those days, you know, you rode to town on your horse and you went into the saloon and you see everybody drinking alcohol because you couldn't drink the water back then because it made you sick. So that's why everyone drank alcohol. But things change and the stories change and they purport different changes on us to get our attention because they're up to something else. What are they up to? I don't know. I really don't even care to look into it. But you've got to do what you've got to do if you want to make the changes, and you may not be able to make any changes, but by calling or doing something like this or writing letters, at least you'll get the people who are responsible for these changes to take notice and at least slow them down or throw them off the track. But you got the right idea, you know, calling, mailing, doing those sort of things, because let's face it, you know, if they're going to do exactly what they want, if they don't, you know, get anybody to try to convince them otherwise, you know, you get a 2-year-old who's going to put his hand on a hot burner because he doesn't know he's going to get burnt. So until they're taught, you know, they'll just do what they're going to do.
True. I got another caller who wants to check in, and he's one of our supporters. But before I do that, I want to touch up on something here. And I told you I had something I wanted to do real quick, and I hope everybody's patient with this real quick, because if you remember correctly, what is one of the biggest stores we have in America today? That's Walmart, correct? And
Walmart FEMA camps.
Well, yeah. But Walmart was a big thing on not selling any Confederate flags because they offended people. And I questioned them on that live on the air. And they said, well, you know, they didn't really want to comment on it, but they were no longer selling the Confederate flags because of what happened in South Carolina. Well, we have 2 people dead now because another man shot people, and he had the gay flag, the rainbow flag, just like this guy in Charleston had the Confederate flag. So I'd like to ask Walmart if they're going to discontinue the rainbow flag, because it offends me as a customer. So we're going to see what they got to say. So I got them right here, ready to call them. I'm going to go ahead and dial the number. So we'll just be patient with me for a minute.
Thank you for calling Walmart.
And try to get them on the line here.
It'll be good.
Reedsville, North Carolina, by the way.
Thanks for calling Rita. I'm Mohammed. Rita call.
Yes.
Thanks for calling Rita.
Yes,
I'm fine. How are you? Yes, sir.
I'm doing all right. I got a question for you. I was wondering, like, for instance, products you have. I know a couple weeks ago, or about 3 weeks ago, you guys stopped selling Confederate flag stuff and stuff like that because it offended people. And recently there was another shooting in America where the guy had the gay flag. He was posing with the rainbow flag. Will you guys be selling any rainbow flags anymore? Or are you going to, like, stop selling that?
Hold on just a second.
All right. I guess they passed the buck to me. I don't know who she's going to connect me to, but
hope there's someone that talks slower.
Yeah. We'll give her a couple minutes. If she's going to put me on for 5-10 minutes, we'll just hang up. But it's a shot tonight.
Yeah, I think it's like Bridget said. They want to purport this lifestyle on you, so they'll continue.
Well, we'll see in a minute here. Like I said, she keeps me on for 5 or 10 minutes. I'll just let to the next caller that has questions, but I'll give her a couple minutes to connect me. If not, we'll try tomorrow night. But I know there's not that many shoppers in Walmart right now, so there's no way they can be set.
So they probably have to hire somebody to answer the question.
Oh, that's my bro. They don't know who to call probably. What manager should we call? The bakery department? The flag department? All right, I'll give them 1 minute. It's on. I'll put them on hold. But anyway, folks, I know you can still hear me. I know there's a little background music. I'm sorry, but you know, a couple weeks ago we did a show about the Confederate flag, and we called Walmart, and they told me no, they're not going to sell any Confederate flag products, and they didn't have an answer why, or what, where, when, and how, and they basically said they had no comment. But I want to know if they're going to stop selling this rainbow flag. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put her on hold. I'll go to our next caller. How's that? Okay, she's on hold. All right, I got 262 right now. Go ahead, you're on the air live. How you doing? Hey,
hi, Mike.
262.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
You're on the air. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I fell asleep because of the music.
Hello? Hello? Is somebody there?
Hello.
Oh,
yes,
hang on
no,
a
we
second.
don't.
Yeah, how you doing? Who am I speaking to, please?
You speaking to the customer service desk.
Oh, how you doing? A couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, I was wanting to get a cake made in the bakery department and for a picnic I was having, and that was during the big controversial thing with the Confederate flag, and they said, oh, no, we don't sell anything with the Confederate flag anymore, and that was their policy. But now, you see, we just had another shooting in America and in Virginia, if you heard about it, and the guy that did it, he had the rainbow flag. And I was just wondering if Walmart was going to, like, discontinue any type of rainbow flag sales because they offended me.
Yes, sir, we don't sell those.
You don't sell rainbow flags?
No, sir.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Oh, all right. Then I'm sorry then. I apologize for bothering you tonight.
Oh, you're fine.
All right. But if I wanted to have a... Hello? Okay. Hello? All right. Well, I was fine, she said. She's gone. All right. Anyway, Mike, are you still there?
Yeah, she had to go on her break.
Yeah. That was quick. But she said she don't sell rainbow flags. So guess what, everyone who's listening tonight, tomorrow night, I'm going to order a cake with a rainbow flag on it, and we're going to see if we caught her in a lie. What do you think?
You'll probably get it.
Good idea.
All right. Well, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Then you could write your letter to management for Walmart and tell them you've been lied to.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're going to try to order a cake celebrating a gay wedding with a rainbow flag on it, and we're going to see if Walmart will do it for me. Because I believe she lied to me.
I got one more thing to say tonight, and then I'll let Mike take the call, and then you can continue with it. But since we're talking about Walmart, and I was talking about all these pictures and everything that I find have been manipulated in some way or other, Walmart,
Yep.
for some reason, is going to be closing a number of their stores for 6 months because they have a plumbing problem in all 6 stores. I find this highly unlikely and suspicious, and there's more to this story than meets the eye, and we're being lied to again.
Well, that's something that we can investigate here on this show, and you know what? I'll look into that. You're right. Thank you for bringing that up.
Okay,
well,
you guys are on your own.
News
Call me
tonight.
if you want me.
Hang on, one person at a time, please. Go ahead. Joe?
I said, no, you guys go on and have a good time. Call me if you want me. Sorry for interrupting.
All right, go ahead, Mike. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, on the evening news tonight, they said that starting September 1st, Walmart is going to start selling Christmas items.
Yeah.
I know it used to be early when they were doing it around Thanksgiving, and then they went to Halloween. Now they're going to September 1st. Pretty soon they're going to be left up all year long. And it's like, you know, I don't know, you know, just I ran stores, and you know, when the season was over, you put the stuff in the back room. You know.
Yeah. Well, you're right. Yeah, if they're going to start selling Christmas items. Go ahead, Mike.
Your ability to sell a Christmas tree in June is going to be pretty low. You know.
Yeah.
But when you were talking about you know, the First, Second Amendment and everything, what I was thinking, you know, what you were saying, you know, there's 2 people that come to mind in my mind, and the one is Kennedy, and he said, didn't he say something like, it's not what the government can do for you, it's what for you can do for the government.
Yeah, that's not what you can. That's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Right. Yeah. Well, that isn't the policy at this time. This time is the government wants to do everything for you, and you have to just take it. And the other person is Reagan. Ronald Reagan said, the problem with government is that government is too big. And, you know, if you sit down and think about it, I mean, with all the scandals and everything that's gone on since Obama's been in office, not one person has been let go or fired. And it's like, that's the kind of job I want. You know, where I can do whatever I want, and you know, not get fired.
Well, all you got to do is go work for a university then.
Probably don't pay as good.
You see, America is a figure of speech. America is whatever you think it is. That's what it can be. And what we need in America is common sense. We don't need to ban guns. We don't need to ban speech. What we need is common sense. That's what everybody needs.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like I'm sitting here listening to the show, and we have the television set on, and the commercials come on, and they're showing these movies that are so graphic and, you know, the horror and people killing people and everything else, and my wife Melody looks over to me and goes, you know, why can't they make good movies, you know, like anymore?
Exactly. Well, that's why everybody likes these old movies. You know, I don't know what it's like in the states that you're in, but in Connecticut, they're having big problems doing all our motor vehicle departments over their computers. They're doing them over. People are standing in line for 7 hours at a time. They're doing just like Walmart. They're doing something, and it's a major undertaking, whatever they're doing. And what I think they're doing is they're doing all the DMVs over in Connecticut, right? So so you know, the Department of Mexican Voting. That's what it's going to be, because we don't know what these people are up to.
Yeah, you're right. But But anyway, hey, listen, if anyone's got a question or they want to call in, by all means, please participate tonight. 657-383-0616. Press 1 and you'll be connected live if you have something on your mind to share. You see, we do a broad range of topics. And there's no one single issue I concentrate on when I'm talking here live on the air, because I like to hear what other people have to say. We have our usual supporters that call in and bring up what's on their mind. You have Joe from Meriden. You have Joe from Sebastian, Florida, usually calls in sometimes. You have Mike out in Wisconsin, who likes to call in periodically and contribute. You have Bridget in Reedsville, North Carolina, who calls in and participates and says what's on her mind. And there's a number of other people who do. But, and then last week we had a bunch of new people who called in and said, hey, I listened to the show. I really don't have too much to say, but this is what I got to say tonight, and thank you for being on. And that was great. It was good to hear from 2 or 3 new people, and I see there's a lot of people on the line, but they don't feel like they should contribute. But wait, listen. I'm not going to censor you, and nobody's going to criticize you. And you know what? If you disagree with me, hey, that's even better. So it's up to you. But anyway,
Joe, I was thinking, the government and city government and everything, they all try to make things better by more rules and regulations and everything else, and they they can predict the weather with millions and millions of dollars worth of satellites looking at the Earth. They can't tell me if it's going to rain tomorrow morning. But, but like where I live in Wisconsin, all we have to do is look out our door and be observant. And we know, basically, like when fall's coming in, when winter's coming in. We look at the crops to find out, how fast the corn is drying,
And Mike, you know what? And that's what I was trying to tell you guys about the Bible a few weeks ago when we did what does the Bible tell you? You can tell when the end is coming. Just take a look around. People are becoming crazier. The weather is becoming worse. Just look, in the 1920s, the early 1900s, you had an average between 100 and 200 tornadoes a year. Now, in the year 2000, between 2000 and 2015, you're having between 500 and 1,000 tornadoes per year. And the Bible talked about these things. You're having earthquakes in diverse places. What's that mean? Earthquakes in places that you never heard of that would have earthquakes. We had 2 earthquakes in the last 5 years here in North Carolina. Never heard of. So take a look at the season. Take a look around. Like you just said, you can tell what's going on and what's going to happen. Open your eyes. You're awake, but there's a lot of people who are not. And they walk around because they've been dumbed down, they're medicated, they're on illegal drugs or legal drugs. They're dependent on some sort of chemical. They're eating the poisonous foods that are dumbing them down. And then they go home and they watch the television set that educates them at no way, any way at all. That's why they call it television programming. And then if you like to be entertained, you have your entertainment programming. And the entertainment, like you just talked about with your wife, you were watching, with the violence that molds your mind to be desensitized, to look at people as nothing. Like the average video game. They said the kid that plays the video game every day, right, throughout his life, throughout his teenage years, kills 500 people a day in the video game. These video games that, squash people, kill people, 500 people a day. Then you wonder why, when they get out in society, they have no respect for you. They won't hold a door for you, or they'll knock you out and take your purse for $5. You wonder why these things are happening. And you say you contributed tonight, Mike. Joe and Meriden contributed. And there I am, the host, laying out the platform. And you guys all bring it together. These are why we need to understand the times in which we live in today, because they are crazy. We live in the end times. We live in crazy times, perilous times. America is a land of sudden death. Look, you have 2 people. They're working, a cameraman and a reporter. Yeah, the story is fishy, but it does describe how society works today. You know, I mean, you witnessed it, Mike. Joe and Meriden witnessed it. He told a story on the air a couple of weeks ago. He's in the story. He's got 3 or 4 people leaning against his car. Hey, get the hell off my car. What the hell are you doing? You know, hey, man, you got $1? You got a cigarette? Can I buy a cigarette from you? Get the hell out of here. You know, I mean, and you know, it's crazy. We live in crazy, perilous times. What can we do to repair what is happening and what's going on? You know, and that's the problem. That's the solution, or the ideas I'm trying to bring about with this show. And that's why I wish more people would call in and participate and give their opinions. You don't have to be afraid. I'm not going to censor you. I'm not going to make fun of you, and no one's going to pick on you, you know, and no one's going to hold anything against you. So if you want to call in, go ahead. You know, but Mike, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I got something to say about what you're talking about, something that will give you something to think about and maybe other people to look up. You know, the Earth's been here for over 4 billion years, supposedly. I don't know. I wasn't there when it started, so I can't say, but that's what I've been told. You know, a little over 4 billion years. And, for instance, you know, let's take the Mississippi River, you know, and Hurricane Katrina. You know, the Mississippi River is a pretty big river, and it's been there a long time. Can you imagine the trash and the filth and everything that's been coming down that river for these millions and millions and millions of years and going out into the ocean? Well, you know what? Where is it? It's not on the bottom of the ocean. There's nothing out there. The bottom of the ocean is clean and pristine, basically, down there at the end of the Mississippi. Granted, there's stuff on the bottom, yes, but we're talking millions of years of junk flowing down. Where did it go? Well, we're living in the end times. That's right. But you read the Bible, and I can't comment on that because I don't know anything. But the end times, I think Peter has mentioned this. The end times, you know, a week for our Creator or your God could be 1 billion years for us. So these are the end times, yes, but these end times may last for a long, long time.
Well, a day for the Lord is 1,000 years. That's what the Bible says. A day for the Lord is 1,000 years. Okay? And man, yes, the earth may have been here for millions and billions of years, like you say, but man has only been here for 6,000 years. Okay? And no one scientist can prove anything otherwise. All right? And if you look at the timeline and anything that's archived or documents or anything that's been salvaged or saved, it only proves that man's only been here for about 6,000 years. Now, according to the Bible, man will only last on this earth for 7,000 years. All right? And right now we're in the 6,000th year. We don't know how far past the 6,000th year, 6,900 something, whatever. We don't know that for a fact. We can't pinpoint it, but we know the season. Like Mike said, you could look out your door, you could look around, you know the season. And that's what Paul, one of the apostles, said in one of the books in the Bible. He said, you'll know the season. Now, we know 50, 60, 70 years ago, there's no way it could be the end of the world because we didn't have the technology that we had back today, that we had back then, because the Bible says you'll see the 2 martyrs who will come and claim to be the 2 prophets martyred and murdered on the streets, and the whole earth will see it happen. Well, 100 years ago, how could that happen? You couldn't. But today you could. Today, I could see somebody die in Israel right now all over my TV set, over my smartphone, right? You could see it happen. I mean, obviously. So we have the technology, obviously. And what's to talk about the number of the beast? No man shall buy or sell without, obtaining the number of the beast. Well, what do we have today? We have those microchips coming out. We have the smart cards coming out. We now you go to the grocery store, you have the self-checkout. So we have that technology coming today. We have people who go to work. You can't enter into your workplace without scanning your thumb. So you can't buy or sell with the mark in your right hand or your forehead. That's what it says. So how does the Bible know this that's been written thousands of years ago? No, that is what is really happening today. No, they haven't changed it over the years to come. But I'm just saying, how do they know that?
Well, you're absolutely right, and like I said, I can't comment on the Bible because I know nothing about it. But what I can comment on are some things like you said. You said science can do this, and science can't prove anything. Man doesn't know anything. I said that before. Science cannot prove anything unequivocally. We can take our best guess. That's all we can do. And now we're speaking of the seasons. You know, I was speaking to someone the other day, and this holds true, and it rang very true today. Never in Connecticut have I seen apples being ready to pick in August. They're always ready. They're always ready in September, but they're ready in August this year. I've never seen this in my lifetime. So something is wrong.
And ours are usually end of September into October. And I called our orchard today and asked them when the McCoons are going to be available, and they said they'll be available September 1st.
There you go. Say that.
That's a month and a half early.
Yeah, usually September 7th, September 21st, all our apples are ready. I picked a couple. What got me going is I made an apple pie yesterday. I might have mentioned on a show or the day before. I don't know. And then I spoke to my friend because I gave her half the pie that I made, and she said, "Well, let's go pick Jerry's apples." And I said, "They're not ready yet." But you know what? Sure as I'm talking to you, they were ready.
Well, you're right. But anyway, hey, Mike, I just wanted to let you know your dad, Sebastian Florida, he was on tonight. Of course, it got too late for him. He logged off because, like you said, when it gets past 8:30, he shuts down. But I wish you would have participated tonight, and I hope you could reach out to Jeannie and Wallingford.
I did talk to him, and he did say he had a comment or a story that he wanted to chime in tonight with. But maybe tomorrow. Let's.
Yeah, well, tomorrow's a late night now, and I know a lot of people won't tune in.
Oh, yeah.
It's the night I do the late night. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, I get more ratings on those late nights and that Monday show than I do in the 7:30 show. But what I'll do is I'll schedule it a little bit earlier. I'll try to do it a little bit earlier, and if people want to chime in for a little while, you can. I'll do it for 10 p.m. How's that? 10 p.m. If that's too late for you, I'm sorry, but I got to kind of stick close because there are people that have emailed me and said they want to contribute that late because there are people on the West Coast that want to listen also. But if not, what we'll do is we'll be back on Sunday night, and we'll do the show at 8 p.m. on Sunday night. Sunday night, 8 p.m., that'll be the primetime show. And then, of course, we got the Monday morning quarterback, which is about football. And I know some of you don't like football, but I know there's a lot who do. So, and then Tuesday night, we're back at 7. Okay, what we're going to do, well, we were at 7:30. We're moving it up to 7 because 7:30 to 9 is a little bit late for me because now my little boy has started school, and it's a little rough on me, so we'll move it up to 7. And I know a lot of people that'll make some of you even happier. So 7, and that's 6 for you, Mike. So, 7, we'll work with 7 and see how that goes. Everybody agree on that?
Yeah. You know what I think? Could you post the times on your page so that when we go and look at your page, we can see the actual times?
Okay, that's what I'll do. You're good idea. Good idea. Thanks for telling me that. I thought about that today, actually.
Yeah, this way when you look at your Blogspot page, you'll know, oh, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's not 9 o'clock, it's 7 o'clock.
All right, well, really good. Very good. Thank you for telling me that, and that's what we'll do. You know what? So we'll go ahead and wrap it up for tonight, guys. It was a good show. We talked about everything and anything. So, I wish there was a couple other people that participated tonight. I asked them to call in, but they were on the line, and then I guess, like I said, people are just so damn busy. They don't have time to talk about the things.
I have a question for you, Joey.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I go to look at your Facebook page that you put out telling people, you're going to be doing this show.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's written by you or not, but you think maybe you could put a phone number in there? My dad has asked me for your phone number. I don't know how many times. Now, I'm not saying he's.
What, the show phone number or my personal phone number?
Yeah. No, the show.
Okay, the show. Okay, I'll put the show number in there. Okay.
Yeah, because, if an average person came along and saw it, and they saw the phone number there, maybe they'd call in and not sit there on the computer in the chat room. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're absolutely correct. And you know what? I know we had a couple of new people log in tonight too, and because I could see the phone numbers that pop up on the screen, and I just wish they contribute more, because different voices are very important to hear from. But people just feel like they don't have the time. But also, like I mentioned in the beginning, maybe I should get a 1-800 number, because it's long distance for people, and they got to pay to call.
The phone number is on Facebook. The phone number is listed in the ads on Facebook.
It is?
Yep.
Okay. I stand corrected.
The very first one, the second one, I seen another one down here. Maybe he did it for the first and second recently, but yeah, I saw. Well, there's at least two.
Well, anyway, tonight was a good show, and tomorrow night we're going to broadcast at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday, no show. Sunday night is family night, family and friends, and that doesn't mean just my family. That's everybody's family. So we want to hear from everybody's family and friends. It's not just mine. So we're out there to offer advice, to help each other out. So hopefully, Mike, you could reach out to Jeannie. Maybe she'll call in for once. We've been asking for her for so long. Maybe she'll come out of her cave. And, we'll get some other people to contribute on Sunday night. Okay, Sunday night, 8 p.m.
It's kind of digging for gold, but I'll get out my shovel.
All right. Well, anyway, hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, close it out. What do you want, Mike? You want the Ronald Reagan close out, or what do you want?
Whatever you'd like.
Bye,
it's
everybody.
your show there, Guy.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and do the one I like. How's that? All right. Go ahead tonight, everybody. God bless you. Tune in tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you were with us or you were with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
I feel like this all the time, trying to politically awaken people that they're being lied to, that there's an agenda. It's not left or right. It's, hey, there's mind control going on. The signals broadcast 24 hours a day through all this media. Just become aware of it, and they'll say there's nothing going on. And I want to say, put on these glasses or start chewing concrete.
They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth.
The question is, do we all work for central bankers? That's what I want to address to our guest tonight.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
An estimated 50 to 70 million Americans suffer from a sleep disorder or sleep deprivation.
Outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners.
Latest census numbers prove the United States has the biggest gap between rich and poor compared to all westernized countries today.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite.
That for the first time in all of human history, mankind is politically awakened. That's a total new reality.
I've got one that can see.
We can't be the only ones who can see.
Unfortunately, you've grown up hearing voices that incessantly warn of government as nothing more than some separate, sinister entity that's at the root of all our problems.
It's a new morning in America. Fresh.
Not my country. My country is me and my family.
Well, your country's also Huerta, and the governor, the landlords, Gunther-Roos and his locusts. This little revolution we're having here.
Revolution? Well, revolution. Please don't try to tell me about revolution. I know all about the revolutions and how they start. The people that read the books, they go to the people that don't read the books. They put people and they say, ho, the time has come to have a change, huh? Sit, shush! I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the revolutions. The people who read the books. Only the people can't read the books. The poor people and say, we have to have a change, so the poor people make the change, huh? And then the people who read the books, they all sit around the big polished tables, and they talk and talk and talk and eat and eat and eat, huh? But what has happened to the poor people? They're dead! That's your revolution. So please, don't tell me about revolutions.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
A palace in which there is no king or queen or dukes or earls or princes, but subjects all, subjects beholden to each other to make a better place to live. Is that too much to ask? Are we asking too much for this? Is it beyond our reach? Because if it is, then we are nothing but sheep being herded to the final slaughterhouse. I will not go down that way. I choose to fight back. I choose to rise, not fall. I choose to live, not die. And I know that what's within me is also within you. That's why I ask you now. Join me. Rise up with me. Rise up on the wings of this slain angel. We'll rebuild on the soul of this little warrior. We will pick up his standard and raise it high. Carry it forward until this city, your city, our city, his city, is a palace again. It's a palace again. We're not against soldiers, we're against war.
Good evening. I would like to report on the state of our war against the American people. We're mounting a sustained campaign to crack down on every American and every person of every faith and every nation, and to bring them to justice. All missions are being executed according to plan, without warning or provocation. Americans are being swept up in an international dragnet. Thousands of FBI agents are on the trail of other citizens here and abroad. It has everything to do with hate and evil and murder and prejudice. America's strong.
Federal agents, we are armed!
What would you do if you knew all the things we knew? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk away? What would you do if you knew all the things we knew? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk
I see a message from the government. Like every day, I watch it and listen and call them all suckers. They wanted me about Osama or whatever. Picture me buying the scam. I said never. You in tune to a hard truth soldier spitting. I stay committed, gives a fuck to die, I lose commission. It's all a part of fighting devil state mind control. And all about the battle for your body, mind, and soul. And now I'm hoping you don't close your mind so they shape you. Don't forget they made us slaves, gave us AIDS and raped us. Another Bush season mean another war for profit. All in secret so the public never seek to stop it. The Illuminati, 666, all connected. Stole the votes, they control the race and take elections. It's the Skull and Bones Freemason Kill Committee. See the dragon getting shittier in every city.
What would you do if you knew all the things we knew? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk away?
Now ask yourself who's the one with the most to gain. For 9/11, motherfuckers couldn't stand his name. Now even niggas waving flags like they lost their mind. Everybody got opinions but don't know the time. Cause America's been took, it's plain to see. The oldest trick in the book is making enemy. A phony evil so the government can do its dirt. And take away your freedom, lock and load, beat and search. Ain't nothing changed but more colored people locked in prison. These pigs still beat us, but it seems we forgetting. But I remember 4 September how these devils do it. Fuck Giuliani, ask Diallo how he doing. We in the streets.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. blogtalkradio.com/Joseph Gibson. Any other show you'd like to call in live, hey, I'll put you through. You're not censored. You're not screened. You have a right to your opinion, thoughts, and comments like any one of us. I don't screen anyone. So call in next time, 657-383-0616, press 1, and I will put you through live, no matter what your opinion is, if you disagree with me or if you agree with me. Thank you. God bless. It was a good show. If anyone wants to know about me personally and know what I'm about, and by all means, go to Amazon.com, pick up a copy of my book, Behind the Walls by Joel Hodnick. Behind the Walls by Joel Hodnick, and you will learn and read about why I believe what I believe and the things I have been through throughout my life. Good night. God bless, and I hope to hear from someone or somebody tomorrow night. Thank you.